Welcome back to Project Zomboid. After last episode, we find ourselves with pretty much enough food to last us for a lifetime. If we ever need more, we could just go back to that supermarket as it's relatively close to our base. But I don't think I'm done with this series just yet. Today we're heading back into town just to explore a little bit more. Even though I could theoretically survive for a long time just locked in my room, I feel like that's not going to hold the alternates out forever. Once again, it seems the alternates have mostly left the area. Barely any of them showed up while I was looting this part of town. My main objective for now was to find myself more weapons. If I could find any firearms, specifically, that would help. Something tells me that, in the near future, they'll be coming to me much more often. Still, very few of them actually interrupted me while I was looking around for items. I decided to take a lot of batteries with me. If I could build myself a lamp using a flashlight, then I could use these batteries to keep it on during times of darkness. I wasn't entirely alone though. It seemed like a couple of them had just found where I was. I soon enough realized, though, that there were quite a few of them around here. It wasn't just one or two. At this point, I realized that if I wanted to keep exploring the town, I would most definitely need to try and set up some kind of temporary safe house here. Any house with 2 floors would do, but I just needed a place I could stay where they couldn't get up to me. While I didn't mention this in the last episode, I actually found some chlorpromazine. This is actually a schizophrenia medication, but in my case, it's going to take care of whatever kind of mind affliction the alternates have given me. For the time being, it will hopefully prevent them from creating illusions. Thankfully for me, they were coming at me one at a time, which made it pretty easy to deal with them. Eventually, however, I found what I decided would be my temporary safe house here. The house was small and pretty exposed, but it only had one stairway up, and it seemed like a good spot. After all, it was pretty much bordering the area of the town I still hadn't explored. And it also had a revolver, which I took with me. Unfortunately, until I bring my sledgehammer here and destroy those stairs, I'm not exactly safe. Soon enough, I decided to get out of this little house. The only problem was that I was hearing quite a lot of activity around me. Since I'm using Restless Zombies fixed, I knew that all the alternates I just spawned in by loading this area would be coming after me soon enough, and my best option was just to leave while I still could. Unfortunately for me, it seemed like they were already on their way to me when I was trying to get away. As long as they kept coming at me, just one at a time, however, I should be fine. Thankfully, I managed to make it back to my compound safely. Although the alternates did tear down one of my escape ropes, I'm just glad they didn't go up it instead. Now that I was back here, I did my usual things. Just storing away some loot and eventually going to sleep. The next day I decided to go into this church room and started deconstructing some things. After grinding a little bit of carpentry experience, I could build a lamp on a post. This would be useful for the darkness event, for example, so that I could actually see what I was doing. For the time being, though, I didn't need the light, so I turned it off to preserve batteries. After a little bit of reading, I decided to go and grab myself some garbage bags. At this point, the water in the bathroom was starting to run out, and I figured it was about time to make myself some rain collectors. If I was going to survive here for the long term, I would need food and water. I already sorted food with my rooftop farm and with an avid collection of cans, but I still needed to build myself some rain collectors in order to get water later on. That should be enough water for now at least. At this point, I now had renewable water and food, and honestly enough canned food to last me for pretty much a lifetime. While this series was great and intense, I've kind of run out of goals now. So I'm thinking, for the time being, I'll probably leave it here. However, I quite like the difficulty and ambience of this challenge, so I don't think I'm going to finish it just yet. Even if it means starting a new character in a more dangerous city.